The topic for today is Bohr's effect. For Bohr's effect, you need to draw a small graph. On that graph, you have to draw a sigma shaped curve and write down that pH is equal to 7.4. And then a dotted curve below it and on pH is equal to 7.2. And also name the axis. This is PO2 in mm mercury, and this is hemoglobin saturation in percentage. You don't have to write the numbers in the answer paper. So let us see what exactly Bohr's effect means. So in the diagram you see here that there is a shift of the curve to the right, or the curve has shifted downwards. So when the curve shifts downwards, what happens? There are two things which are happening. One, there is increased blood PCO2 and there is increased blood H plus ions. Now, because of this, because of both these things, there is another third effect happening that is happening on oxygen. So, because of these two effects, because of increased PCO2 and because of increased H plus, oxygen is getting released more from blood into tissues. This is called Bohr effect. Now, let us see the mechanism of the Bohr effect, of Bohr's effect. For that, let us quickly draw a blood vessel. So this is a blood vessel. Okay. Now let us draw a tissue. The blood vessel is passing through the tissue. So let me shade a green portion which will represent the tissue. Okay. So this is the tissue. So tissue has its own metabolites. So tissue releases CO2 from the cells into the blood vessels. Because of this, there is increase in CO2 of the blood. That means PCO2 increases. Because PCO2 of blood increases, there are two things which are happening. There is increased H plus concentration and there is increased H2CO3. Because of these two things, increased H plus and increased H2CO3, there occurs a change on the oxygen. Oxygen which was bound to the hemoglobin now gets released. And that is why more amount of oxygen released from the hemoglobin is now available for the tissues. Exactly opposite effect occurs in the lungs. So let us draw an alveoli, a blood vessel. So now what happens here, from the blood vessels, the alveoli, CO2 is traveling. So this reduces the blood PCO2. Because of reduction of blood PCO2, H plus ions are also reduced. Because of this, the oxygen hemoglobin dissociation curve now will shift to the left. Therefore, the quantity of oxygen that binds with the hemoglobin at any given alveolar PO2 becomes considerably increased, thus allowing greater O2 transport to the tissues.